enjoyable. Very quickly, we've got some individuals who need to get on the road here. Senator Ernst, from the bottom of my heart, man, you have led troops not just in combat, 14 months of doing convoy support into the heart of Iraq, leading young men and women who are at the start of their career, both in their uniform, in their service to our state, and now in the U.S. Senate. That's a huge story, not just for Iowa, but for all of us to get to be part of it. I shared your story with a young man who was about my age, if I'm a young man, in Korea, who was serving alongside me. He was a South Korean, my version of a major, and he was so touched by what you had done, not just in Iraq, but when you had come and visited. He remembered you when you had come to visit South Korea, and you saw with your own eyes the DMZ and the barbed wire and the 38 parallel and the artillery guns on the hill facing at everything we have spent 60 plus years defending. And so he recommended to me what I'm very happy to present today is just about the size of coin. Man, if you would come up here. This is a presentation that was made on behalf of the South Korean people to Senator Joni Ernst, and it highlights actual barbed wire that was on the fence line there, for what she does every day. And one of the quotes that I've chosen for this is peace through strength, through being a leader, through being a stalwart and being an example. And that's what the United States has done for Korea, and the Korean people depend on us for that. So ma'am, thank you for being that peace through strength. Thank you, ma'am. Sarah Ernst has been working all over the state today on the flood relief, and she's got to go to another one here real quick. The second person I want to thank very quickly, if we could just say one last thanks to Senator Ernst for coming out here today. But I learned very quickly, it is not easy once you become elected to the business of not just running for office, but governing. And one of the hardest things, I think, is to try and govern a group of ungovernables. And that's where I say us in the Republican caucus have given Linda definitely time and a half the amount of work she's had to do to keep us all together and to keep us focused on moving on an agenda that's good for Iowa. So ma'am, very quickly, while I was stationed in D.C. before I went to Korea, I was able to get this out of the White House Situation Room. This is something we can celebrate with post-election night.
I can, on any day of the week, send in Marines, I can send in Air Force, I can send in National Guard, because every one of them are in my caucus. And I just thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you. Guys, it means the world to me that you would be here tonight. That you would come out, that you would spend your Saturday night. Now granted, I think we're all a little bit happier after game day today, whether you're Iowa State, the University of Iowa, or even you and I, we're much better off than we were last week. So that puts us all in a good spot. But most importantly, it means so much that you would come out and show what this sign really is all about. It's community first. And even though I was gone for 90 days, you didn't let the flag fall, you didn't let the banner of our campaign in. And we have some amazing volunteers who made it seem like we were just as competitive, probably even more competitive than I was in my first election. And so with that, if you would raise your hand, there's a number of people who volunteered for us tonight. Sexton, go ahead, raise it up. All around. I would like to specifically call out 3 people. The first, my amazing wife. Kelly not only raised the home front, which everyone who's ever been in the military, been part of a military family knows the hardest part is being a spouse. Taking care of the family, being concerned about your spouse when they're away, and still having the biggest heart in the world to get up for a 2 a.m. phone call with me when I'm getting off shift. So honey, thank you so much. I love you. When people do a good job, or when people are working hard for you, it is your responsibility as a leader to recognize not only what they've done, but how much it means to you. One of the things that I've done at the State House is I've followed the lead of my commander, both men and women who have led me in combat, who have led me on the home front, and we also have a challenge coin, but ours is very specific to our district. On the back, it has all the communities we represent: Altoona, Bondurant, Elkhart, Mitchellville, and Runnels, as well as Eastern Polk County. The key thing here is that mine has a simple saying on the back: serve the community in whatever you do, whether that's in a classroom, in a soybean field, in uniform, on a bike, as a father, as a mother, as aunts and uncles, as grandparents. Serve our community, whatever that may mean to you. Because ultimately, that's what we at the State House, in some small way, are trying to do best. One of the people who made this happen for me was Wes Enos. We've been friends since 3rd grade. He's taken the mantle here, and he has led my campaign as my campaign manager the entire way through. Wes, I'm so honored to have you not only as my campaign manager and as a guy who can drive a pile driver even better than me when we're putting up yard signs, but as my best friend. Buddy, thanks so much. This table back here, this motley crew, who I'm pretty sure is already about 6 beers in, has been proactive in knocking on over 10,000 doors already. Now that's a lot, and if you count up the 30,000 people in our district, that means they've come to some of your doors and dropped lid. Maybe 3, 4, I think I even had one person tell me, this is the 5th time you've been to my house. So, we get the message, but that's also the best way we learn. I've had an amazing clerk this year. Casey, would you mind coming up here real quick, my friend? Casey's a young man from Runnels. He's going through Drake University in the business program, and he has single-handedly put up our yard signs, led our campaign, done our lid drops, and organized an amazing team. And for that, Casey, I'm incredibly grateful. I wish I could give you a volume this thing because you are going places, and I would like to keep you as long as possible. This young man is going to go to Italy next year. He's taking on the world. Will graduate from Drake, and I'm sure before too long, he'll be the guy who's stepping into my shoes. In fact, when I've knocked on doors, people have said, "Oh, you're Zach Nunn, you're that hot, handsome blonde guy." And I'm like, "No, I'm Zach Nunn." He's my field commander. So, field commander, for you, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We've heard a lot of speeches tonight, and we've heard a lot of really good things. I want to just highlight a couple of things very quickly. First of all, every day I go into the Capitol, I look into that gold dome, and I am honored to be able to serve my friends and family. But even going into that gold dome, the drive home, all the way on I-80, and as I pull off the ramp to Altoona and Bondurant, I'm more excited to see my community. I'm thrilled to see my wife. I'm thrilled to drive by Brick Street. I'm thrilled to be able to be part of something that when we go to a football game or into church or even just having a beer here at Reclaimed Rails, I feel like I'm part of something bigger than myself. And I hope you do too. I hope that when you step into our community, you feel like there's a voice for you, both at the local level, but also at the state level. The second aspect of this is I feel in a very short amount of time, we've put out some very big goals on what we want to do. Linda highlighted the fact that we have saved the Iowa taxpayer $100 million in our first year alone. That wasn't easy. We had to work not only against the Senate, but we had a challenge in the governor's office. And through one-on-one conversations with both sides of the aisle, we made sure that Iowans kept that money. And that's really important for small businesses, for families, for teachers. A second aspect of this is that we looked at one of the most horrific things that I think is happening in our state right now, and that's the sale of young children. When we look at human trafficking in a place like Iowa, I had known it from a military perspective overseas, and I had no idea that it was happening to the extent it does in Iowa. This year, I am very proud that we set up the first statewide operations office to put an end to human trafficking in Iowa. Importantly, this is a bipartisan effort, and it wasn't just about the law enforcement side, but it's what do we do with those young men and young women who are victimized to reintegrate them into society in a healthy way. And so working with people like Kelly Markey at Dorothy's House, we now have a way that we can, when we rescue these individuals, make sure that they don't become victims again. And that's an important part of that. The third piece, which as a veteran, I have utmost respect for the men and women who have gone before me. My father, my grandfather, both of them, but also members in our community have done the ultimate service, and many of them the ultimate sacrifice. And so for those individuals who have a long-term disability, who have 100% injury due to an IED or a landmine, or injured in service to our country, here in Iowa, we got a bill passed that I was proud to be part of and then lead on the floor. You have 100% property tax relief to those individuals. So nowhere in Iowa will a veteran who is injured ever have to pay state tax. They've already given the ultimate sacrifice. I'm very proud of them. Now guys, we have a lot of work left to do. There's good things that we're working on already, the idea and the ability to make sure that we're not spending more than we're taking in, which is a very important part. But also to look to where we want to go in the future. Where good, smart jobs are going to be in Iowa so that our young kids have the ability to call Iowa home well after they've graduated. That our families are able to see grandkids grow up and have jobs that they're proud of. As Iowa transitions from being a place not just where cornfields and manufacturing grows, but where innovative technology is a place to call Iowa home. Just this week I met with Tom and a gentleman from Massachusetts who's bringing new green technology to Iowa. An innovator, an incubator. Things that we're working with through our state universities, through our community colleges, through apprenticeships, through development. Workforce development is a future for Iowa, and it's a future not just for us, but for the generation to come. And I think that's going to be a huge driving point for where we are going to go in this year's legislature. With that, the most important thing that I can ask of you tonight, in addition to putting up the yard sign, is the opportunity to sit down and hear from you directly. And whether that means having a Sunday at Sugar Shack, or coffee at Butler Cafe at Brick Street, or meeting with one of your groups at our American Legion or the Knights of Columbus, is the honor of being able to hear firsthand from you, what are your priorities, and how can I be a stronger voice for you in the State House? We have a very diverse caucus, and it's not just Republican versus Democrat. A lot of times, particularly on water quality, it's rural versus urban, or it's issue by issue. If you want to get anything done up there, it means being able to hear what our community wants and take it up. I think that we're privileged here in East Polk County. We represent two very suburban communities that are growing very quickly, and 4 very rural communities that have a lot of heritage. What we want to do is to be able to bring together the traditions that made us all proud when we graduated from high school and elementary, and now send our kids to school here, with world-class opportunities that have gone from coast to coast. So with your help, with your support, I ask for the honor and the privilege of hearing you and being able to serve you for my second term in the State House. Thank you very much for coming out tonight, guys. With that, one, we've got a lot of amazing food that's here for you tonight, and this has been brought by R-Altoona's wonderful Fireside Grill, so if anyone hasn't had a chance to eat, Fireside, thank you so much. For anyone who doesn't know the history of this amazing building, it's had 20 years in mothballs after having such a lively history. But the team at Reclaimed Rails, you guys have made this the gym of Bondurant, and certainly a mecca for everybody coming from East Polk County. So a big round of applause to everybody. This night would not have been possible without the support of some amazing hosts, and you can see them as you go out. But anyone who had a part in planning and hosting this, if you could just raise your hand. I know that there was a number of people involved in this, so thank you so much. We got some silent donors in the room. Thank you so much. Mom and Dad came all the way down here, to my amazing wife, and to our little daughter Olympia. Eddie and Cannon were smart. They stayed home tonight with the babysitter. Thank you very much for being here. This means